Hey guys, and welcome to another bullet journal video. Now, I want to apologize because I know I said that there would be monthly bullet journal videos, but I haven't quite figured out the format I want to do them with. I did finally get a bit of a overhead camera situation here, but it's not great. It definitely moves when I work in the journal, and I can't get enough height to show everything. So I'm still working on it, but for now I thought we would do just a bit of a flip through so that you guys could see what I have been up to in my bullet journal since I did my initial setup video for 2020. Now I'm gonna go ahead and skip all of my generic spreads because you guys have already seen those, and I thought I would just flip you guys through each month and we can see the different themes, the different artwork, and if I have changed anything along the way. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with January here, though I will just draw a little notice to my 2020 reading tracker. Obviously, I'm not doing like a ton of reading this year, though it did pick up a bit in April. My general idea is I might just do these dots here, or I might also decide to do a bit of a line connection. We shall see. Still playing around with it. So you guys already kind of saw January setup. You saw my like January cover page, if you will, which is the Jedi Creed. So there you go. You also saw this, which was a ton of fun to set up. I have since kept this format of having a small calendar here and then a larger task and event breakdown over here. I find it works really well for me. I think if maybe you were someone who had more appointments that you're tracking every single day, it might not work. You might not have enough space over here, but for me, I think it works pretty well. I also really like having January videos and projects and my big tasks down here. I think that is still working out brilliantly. So let's go ahead and flip through. Got my habit trackers, and I added a little Yoda quote down here. What I decided to do for January was keep these super basic daily pages, and then to add a bit of extra, I just added a droid at the bottom of each weekly task setup situation. So in January, I was doing my tasks and events this way down here at the bottom, and just adorned each one with a new droid. Then in January, I decided to do a January Roundup page where I went over a few things. I put a picture here from a art exhibit that I went to. I did what I've been watching, the book I read during the month. But as you'll see, I didn't end up carrying this through most of the other months. Then one thing I definitely did not end up using was my January expenses at a glance. I just didn't find it to be super helpful, and unfortunately I now have this blank page. Maybe I will go in and fill it in at some point, but it just wasn't something I felt compelled to use after I used my spreadsheet and everything. So that one maybe I'll cover it up or something like that. Here I added a 2020 loan payments page, which is basically allowing me to track that I'm making the correct payments every month. My standard required amount to pay is $82, and then if I pay extra into it, I wanted to just indicate it here just to make sure that I am paying more into those loans when I can. Then we move into February. Now, February was inspired by the BBC show Father Brown, and I decided to kind of do a split thing. I like having the cover page on this side, so when I had a blank page here, I decided to do a bit of a low spend February tracker, which I did relatively well with. So this I just did in pencil, and as you can see, unfortunately, in the journal I'm using, which is a Leuchtturm 1917, I do get quite a bit of bleed, so you can see the other side through, but I'm quite happy with this cover page, and I really like that quote. Then getting into February, again, I've kept this same setup for each month, so you will see my tracker here with Sid's car, Father Brown's hat and umbrella, and just some bunting for my little tracker boxes there. Then this was a bit of fun. It definitely shows through on the other side, but it is basically like a priest's cowl, which I thought was fun. And then here I had no idea what I wanted to do with the dailies, so initially I started off with this kind of rosary situation, which I was not a huge fan of, so I ended up switching it up. But one thing you'll see that I did change too was I changed my tasks and events to this layout, which I much prefer. I find that I use it a lot more, it's easier to read, and it takes up or it solves the problem of not always having events, and I felt like I was wasting that space when it was down here. So I did change that up, and then ended up changing over to a bunting. As you can see, my dailies are super simple. To me, it's more about making sure that they are functional and that I'm getting all the information I need to in there. I did keep a February roundup, just like in January. I did my favorite clothing items of the month. I did the book I read. I did a new YouTuber I discovered, and just like some general thoughts down here. And then we go into March. This is my March cover page. I liked this quote by John Muir, and my theme for March was kind of wildflowers, because that was the first month where we kind of got a real hint of spring here in California. I have to say, I really like the way this calendar page turned out in particular. I love the flowers. I kind of wish I hadn't outlined March in black, but you know what? Otherwise, I'm really happy with it. I think it's one of my better looking pages. Also really like this habit tracker. And then again, decided to do a low spend March. Now, I know it might seem like by doing low spend one month, it means that on other months I'm buying a bunch of stuff. I'm not. It's just a nice reminder, especially if you kind of get in a spendy mood, which I do from time to time. Then March was super simple when it came to dailies. I literally was just doing a colored circle, and I was alternating colors by week. Then April. April was a weird month because that was a month that we were completely quarantined here in California. So I wanted to do something like home related, and I really love this quote from Marie Kondo: "Everyone needs a sanctuary." And this kind of looks like my bed, and I just did like a nice window star situation, you know, something just nice and cozy. Now my calendar page, I did some fairy lights because I love fairy lights, and I did some plants because I'm a big plants at home, cozy feeling type person. As you can see, I did not do great video wise in April. Yeah, I feel like April was a weird month. I also got very lazy design wise in April. As you can see, I used washi tape for the first time in my journal down here. And then my daily pages were quite boring, to be completely honest. One week I did leaves, another week I did this little, it looks like a snow globe, but they were supposed to replicate a lamp I have in my home. Then I did some cactus, and then I just ended up drawing the number. Again, very uninspired this month. Though I did decide to add a gratitude log. I felt like it was really important, given that my life hasn't changed drastically during the corona situation. I thought it was important to kind of take stock of all of the good things and just, you know, reflect a little, which I don't normally do in my bullet journal, but I actually quite like having this in here. I think it really kind of marks the kind of month that it was. And then, you guys, I'm so excited. This is my May spread, and as you can see, I decided to go with the Kiki's Delivery Service theme. I sketched all this out, I colored it in with color pencil, and I could not be happier. I'm also really excited to say that if you guys are one of my patrons, you are going to have access to this as a coloring sheet. I scanned it before I colored it in, so you guys can download that if you are a patron. I will also be making this available on my Etsy shop, and if you have not checked out my Etsy shop, I have a few other coloring page options. They're only like 75 cents, so if you are interested in getting this coloring page and zhuzhing it up for yourself, I would check that out. I will put links in the description box below. Now, I just did a few of my favorite Kiki's quotes on here. I did this one, which was a Kiki quote. This is an Ursula quote, which I find really fitting for right now, this weird situation we're in. I also did one from her mother, which I feel like is just a really sweet quote, and I had to throw in some food because for me, part of what I love about Kiki's delivery service is all of the like food animation. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So this is probably definitely my favorite spread so far. And I'm actually quite happy with how the rest of it turned out as well. I did decide to do this on a separate piece of paper, and I might end up needing to tape this down. Right now it's just glued in. We'll see how that goes. But I decided to do it on separate paper because, as you could see in previous months, I do get a lot of bleed through my pages, and I wanted this to be, you know, a little bit more clean and like striking, and I really like how this turned out. Then for the rest of May, I'm keeping it pretty simple because the cover page was so dramatic. I just did 2 different kinds of brooms here. You know, the one Kiki starts out with, the one she ends the film with. And I kept it with like a kind of red and purple theme to kind of match her outfit. And then we just have habits, again, super simple with a little Gigi in a cage. And then my dailies are basically, I'm back to this right now because, again, I like a nice simple productive daily, and I'm just going to switch off colors. So next week will be red, this week is purple, etc. So that is my bullet journal right now. The book is, you know, I've still got quite a bit of pages in here, so maybe I will play around with it a little bit more. Maybe I will do more illustration inserts. I have not drawn like this in a very long time, and it was just a lot of fun to kind of get back into the more artistic side, my more artistic habits. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this spread. Hopefully you enjoyed the video overall, and I hope you guys don't mind that I didn't get out like my proper microphone set up to do a voiceover. I just wanted to keep this super casual and actually film the video because I have tried to film this a couple of times and just kept getting stuck on the like technical aspect of like how to set up the camera and how to film a voiceover or record a voiceover and all that. So again, if you would like access to this coloring page, I will link both my Patreon account and my Etsy shop in the description box below. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys know that even if you are not going anywhere right now, for me, I've still been going to work. So one thing you might actually, hang on, I know I felt like I was ending the video, but one thing you might notice is that typically I would just put like this is my company, so going to the office, and I wouldn't really write down tasks for the office because I had a separate planner that I used in the office. However, since I have started working more from home, I do find it helpful to really just kind of transfer all my work tasks to my bullet journal. So I've been a little bit more specific in my bullet journal about work tasks. So I would just say that even if you're not working right now, even if you're not doing a lot of things, I find it really helpful to keep doing some kind of daily schedule. I think it keeps me on track. It keeps me in the loop when it comes to any like bill deadlines, stuff like that. I find it to be just like a really soothing part of my daily routine. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're journaling and taking some time to do some art and things that make you happy, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.